were on the AB schedule here around high school. We had A-Day, B-Day, so it'd be A1, A2, A3, A4, and then B1, B2, B3, B4, and then it was AB. And so basically what you do is you'll label your class, English 2, and then you'll have the section that you'll label it as well. That way you can keep all of the classes separate, and you, whenever you get ready to import your grades, you can import your grades to an Excel sheet, and you simply just go down that list and then take your grades and put it in your regular grade book. I'm pretty sure everybody's is online. How do you get your kids to join the class? It's so simple. They just go to Google Classroom, and then they say, they click the button that says join the class, and you'll already have this access code when you set up your classes, and you just give them the access code, and then they'll type in the access code and they're in. It's just that simple. Or sometimes you have, oh yeah, another thing, if this access code is really weird where the kids, it may be difficult for them to see, like an L sometimes look like, sometimes an L will look funny, it'll look like something else. But, or it might look like an I to them. Or, for example, this O.
I think the first one's a 0 and the second one's an O, but it's really, it's hard to
the first
tell,
one is a 0, yeah, then the second one's a O. That was kind of tricky for the kids, but I just kind of walked them through it. You can change that and get a much more simple one. In some cases, I know with my classes, if you have inclusion or left students or special education students or homebound students, you'll they're not able to come into the classroom. All you do is you just get their ID number because it's already on your roll, and you'll go ahead and assign them to the classroom, and it's easier that way.
Does Google allow you to create your own? You said you can change the code, so it's more simpler, can you put your own?
I don't believe you can create your own class code now. It just kind of randomly generates one, so you might have to reset it a couple times to get one that looks clear. Maybe one day we'll be able to do that, right?
And folders are organized in Google Classroom by class, as you can see, automatically. New folders are added to the class and subfolders are added. So thanks to Google, you just, so you can see here, I just had a few assignments for this research unit, but they were really large class. So I created the assignment called Create Your Basic Outline. They had their final draft, the first draft of the research paper. They had gathered research information, show them how to do that, pre-writing, and the works cited page.
I have a question for you. I've used this before, and this drives me crazy that it's not in the date assigned, but it's in alphabetical order. Is there a way to change that, to organize it to where it's like in sequential order?
Maybe.
I think so. I'm going to check right now because I've used Classroom before, but I think there's a way that you can choose how your drive is sorted, not just like the classroom, but I think you can choose how things are sorted. Yeah, there's a little, if you're in Google Drive and you just open your Google Drive, I know my Chrome is extremely tiny, but there's like a little button right here right now, it says A to Z. And if you click on it, it'll go by name, last modified by me, last opened by me, and so you would be able to, I would think, organize it by the last one modified.
Okay. Thank you.
I don't know if that's.
So I'm looking in her drive right now. Eventually this will come up. Because right here where it says name, this is the sort feature. It's not available in all of your different folders. So like I know in shared with me, you can't sort by who owns it, which is, I need Google to step it up on that one. You can sort by name, so you can have it alphabetical or reverse alphabetical. And then over on to the right of this, which is what I'm trying to pull up in this other window, you should be able to, oh my goodness, come on. You should be able to sort it by date. Another option that you may have if that is not true for this folder, is you might put the date at the beginning of the name of the folder. So you could change that in here.
Oh, sure.
And
By
say,
the way
you know, or
title
like,
it.
this is gonna be, 1 was pre-writing, and then 2 was gathered research, and 3 was works cited, and 4 was create the basic outline, and 5 is short draft, and like that.
It looks like it's not in date, it's last modified, so that might not work if you're going back to older assignments, does that make sense?
Yes.
It's last modified, it's not the actual.
It's not dated.
It won't, I had this problem where I forgot an assignment and went to put it in, but it wouldn't put it where I wanted it in the stream, because all of my assignments are streamed,
It's all
And-
chronological, and there's no
yeah.
option to.
and there's no way to rearrange or move things around easily.
So sometimes I feel like these things, these little issues that we don't like as teachers, if we provide feedback to Google, then those things might change.
And they do, I mean, they change,
They're
they
pretty
monitor,
responsive.
they are very responsive, and I noticed they made one change where you would go in and it would be grading a bunch of stuff, and then you would come out and it would take you back to the top of your page, and you have to go all the way back down.
Yeah.
Then one day I clicked in, it was right back where I was, and I thought, oh, magic. But so many people had complained about having to go and rescan for something, trying to find an assignment, that finally they let you come out of one and you were right where you were when you first entered, and it was wonderful.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, wow.
It saved so much time, and that happened over the course of about, well, less than a school year. They changed it.
Okay,
Okay, so did that answer your question?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
that's good to know,
Good.
I'm glad you told me that.
Okay.
Alright.
Oh, let me add one more thing here. These are organized in the teachers' Google Drive, and it's also organized for the students as well. So instead of having just one, drive that has a list of 1,000 files, it actually is divided into folders and for a student it would be for each class. So they'd have English 2, algebra 2, chemistry, whatever classes they have, they would have folders for each one. So it's automatic.
Oh, which reminds me, one thing I like about Google, even though I have those little issues, the fact that whenever they, in English, whenever they do a research paper in one class, then the next year they're able to go back and see, oh, this is what I did last year, that didn't work, let me make sure I get it right this year, or maybe they did it the right way and they can continue to build on it. Creating the assignment, this is so easy. Once you get your account, you actually click the plus button, if you don't already know. You can make announcements and say, hey, we got this assignment coming up next. Maybe reminders, say when you want to give them the reminders, and then you actually create the assignment, you click that button. You just type in whatever it is that you want them to do, and I was very descriptive on what I wanted the students to do, so they wouldn't have to keep coming to me and saying, now, what do I do? How do I do this? And I was always able to redirect them back to that assignment to get them accustomed to going on to take learning in their own hands. And then they were able to put questions on there. A lot of times their questions they would make silly comments and funny questions, but it kept them engaged with each other, and they were able to ask each other questions during classroom instruction as well. And then you can repost things as well.
And then on the left here, you can attach different items, resources, websites, rubrics, and we'll show some examples of that in a few minutes. YouTube videos. Does anybody still not have YouTube open? Okay, good. I love YouTube. And computer files, so if you're on your regular desktop computer, and those icons are all there. You can also add the assignments to multiple sections at once, so you don't have to go back in and do it again for each and every section. If you have 6 different sections, you don't have to do it 6 times, because that would be ridiculous. There's one note here, and I don't know if y'all have used it very much before, but if you're including Google Docs to share with your students in assignments, this is super important. So you have different ways that you can actually share them. You can give students different permission right from here instead of having to do it from your Google Drive. you can set to view only, so students can only view it. They would be required to actively make a copy for themselves, which I don't really recommend. I want to force you to have a copy of this. Can edit, this is great, but only if you are doing collaborative work and you want everybody to type on the same document. So if you, which is good, if you want everybody to work on the very same document all together. It's not really great for individual work because it can edit your original document. So the one that I would use most is make a copy. So this forces every student to get a copy, whether it's a copy of the rubric or a copy of the assignment instructions, or a copy of the template that you want them to use. It makes a copy into their drive, into their English 2 folder, or whichever folder it is, and it does not foul up your original document. So, and it's already there. So if they say, well, but I lost the rubric, no you didn't, it is in your drive, right? So it does away with a whole lot of those old excuses that we're all tired of hearing. So that's the one that I would recommend, but don't forget to do that, because I'm not sure that you can change that once you do the assignment, and you may have to start over from there. I can't remember if you can go back and change. I know you can go back and add attachments if you forget and you're like, oh shoot, I didn't attach that. We've all done that. I don't think you can assign it to multiple classes once you click the assign button, and I don't think that you can change this. You might be able to.
I think the only way you can change that is if you delete the document from the attachment and then reattach it as and choose the setting that you wanted initially.
Right. So before you click assign, double check all of your settings and make sure that's exactly what you want it to do. And you can do assign your due date there as well.
One more note, just trial and error, I chose the one where I actually loaded everything I wanted them to use